I come out as Catholic. 10,000 followers lost in 24 hours.
Really?
Hundreds of death threats on every platform.
Has there been a massive backlash to your pivoting?
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned death threats when you came out.
Dude, so I began to discern Christianity and deism, and that was like public when I was doing that political show where lots of like libertarians and liberals would watch it. I was starting to have opinions that were making them frustrated with me. And I always had opinions that frustrated them, like pro-gun, yada, yada, yada. But I would have like, oh, maybe we should stop and think about pro-life. Like maybe we should compromise.
We should consider the babies.
Right, yeah. And I kind of started thinking like, in having like be more open-minded and sort of finding a middle ground and stuff. People were getting mad as I'm exploring this. So then I thought, oh, well, they'll just be kind of mad because everyone sees this coming. I come out as Catholic, 10,000 followers lost in 24 hours.
Really?
Hundreds of death threats on every platform and ability you can message me. People doxed me. People texted me.
Whoa.
People sent me my mom's address. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was the wildest thing that's ever happened. I received for weeks messages a day, tons of messages, like you're, saying the worst things you can imagine about the Catholic Church, about Christians in general, about me. I'm a traitor. I'm this, I'm that. I can't support you because you support evil organizations. You're homophobic. The laundry list of things people say Christians. It was so overwhelmingly negative. It was an experience that like I don't even know how to describe. Wow. I just kind of floated through it. Obviously, thank God that I'm coming out as Christian and not like, I'm not being treated that way over something else because I just leaned into Christ. Yeah. It's as easy as my priest going, yeah, that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And Christ told you, and here's where he said that would happen to you. Which is so, by the way, just is fulfilling to me. It's hard and it's scary and it's difficult and it makes you feel bad at the time. But there's also a part of you that's like, I'm a warrior for God. Let's go. And so.
And this was all after you got baptized on Easter.
No, this was before.
Before.
Just simply doing a podcast where I talk about my intention to convert.
Whoa.
Had people reacting like that.
Wow.
So then I got baptized and I lost like another 7,000 followers in one day.
Holy moly.
Because they were like, I thought you were joking.
They thought it was a troll.
Yeah. So these are people now who are unfollowing me that are not so crazy about Christianity, but if I'm actually a Christian, now that's not okay. Isn't that so interesting? There's two levels of people who are mad about this. People who are mad about the values and the people who are mad about the fact I literally did it. Wow. So interesting. But the amount of hate was unreal. Huh. Unreal.
You think it's primarily because you come from more of these like liberal background, leftist background spaces?
I think a lot of it has to do with that. Most of it does. And then two, that I was I'm like an alternative guy, so a lot of alt people like me. And to this day, I still have tons of like LGBTQ fans and things. And like, obviously, I love and care about them and want the best for them. I will spend time with them. But they have to know I want them to come to Jesus. And as long as we are both on the same page with that, hey, I love you as a human being. I don't like your lifestyle. I wish you would come to Jesus. And they go, well, I love you. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, I'll get you. And then that's it, and then we love each other. But like, the amount of people who were just like, you're a traitor.
Wow.
You've betrayed. And I want to be like, betrayed what values? Because I've always been pro-family. I've always been pro-gun. I've always been like pro-community service and taking care of each other. And like, what... Honestly, my values aligned with Christianity already. That's what helped me become Christian. But people aren't thinking about that.
Wow, man, that's interesting. I didn't anticipate there'd be that much, backlash.
Straight up,
yeah.
People like confronting me in real life,
in real life,
person.
Okay, I thought this was just like
no,
habitually online brain.
I saw people like in New York who were like, "Yo, you're like a Christian now, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and then they're like, "Yeah, I don't mess with that." Like, to my face.
What would you respond?
Dude, I would just be like, all right, like, not a problem. Like, I don't even think, there were some people who confronted me that I just ignored.
Yeah.
But yeah, people in person.
Wow.
In person. A lot of women, mostly women.
Huh. Is this probably after the Roe v. Wade thing that they've lost?
I guess.
It?
Yeah. I also just think I have a lot of female fans who consider me like a, oh man, how do I say it? I'm going to say this and I'm just going to feel stupid and look cringe doing it. But I held a position in like my leftist circles of being like, you can be masculine and be on the left. And so there are a lot of women who want masculinity, but they're incredibly liberal and they can't find it
because there's not a lot of it on the left.
It's not there. And so
you were like the avatar they were all
I'm
dreaming for.
Yeah.
Become a conservative, lady.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, I can have the guy who has my leftist opinions, but who also secretly is a little toxic, would fist fight for me. Is going to take care of me, wants to pay for me, stronger than me, is going to tell me what to do low key, but like be gentle about it. Yeah. And then you're like, yeah, you ain't gonna find that in Bed-Stuy, girl. You're not gonna find that in any of the places you're on. And you're definitely not gonna find it on Twitter either. You know.
So how long did you live in New York?
I lived in New York for 4.5 years, 4 years.
And when was this?
This was like right after my first special. So I moved in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where do you live now?
Utah.
You back in Utah?
Yeah.
What brought you back to Utah?
My values.
Okay.
I just decided being in New York and doing the rat race and going out all the time and spending time with people who do drugs and don't have good values and who also show business is not a meritocracy. It's a who you know and who you're around. And I don't want to be around that much because any successful person in show business, you know, who's not doing something like you or I are doing where we're sort of independent, they are a slave to the grind. They have to be out meeting people. They have to be out impressing people. They have to meet the right people. They have to be around. You have to pay dues. You have to say the right things, impress the right people with the right opinions. And like, I don't want to buy into any of that. And then also to do all that, now I'm spending less time with my family, less time with my friends, less time on my hobbies, less time on personal growth. And I thought to myself, there's no way being famous is more important than my family, than my personal growth. And so I said, no, I'm just going to go to Utah. So I moved to where there's basically no comedy and was like, well, I'll just keep doing my thing online and grow myself and bet on myself. And if my career dies, I'll get a job and I'll be a good Christian.
Hey, if you guys want to see the full extended version of our conversation with Shayne Smith, including segments that will never be available public, consider signing up for a 7-day free trial for our Patreon community. You can watch the full version of this conversation with the extended clips, and you can get access to all of our other podcast guests in the future before they come on and be able to ask them questions while we're streaming the conversation. So hit the link in the pinned comment to join today. And if you're not convinced, check this out. So you go from full-blown atheist to Satanist
to aesthetic Satanist
to
full-on Satanist.
Wow.
I read like a Richard Dawkins book and I was like, well, I know everything now and I'm the smartest guy in the world, you know? And I had the sigil of Satan. I would argue against Christians that Satan is the better guy. I'm having like a psychedelic experience. I can't remember her. I can only remember how she made me feel. I come out as Catholic, 10,000 followers lost in 24 hours.
Really? How long was this period and did you experience anything beyond the natural realm?
Oh yeah, and I have this like horrific, overwhelming feeling that there's something on the other side of the door waiting for me to open it at night, and I'm like terrified that there's something outside the door.
Ruslan